Ain't got to be fancy, I tell everybody.
Hello, everybody. You have reached Michelle Moross, and this is Mental Shift. And today I have a friend of mine. He interviewed me 3 months ago on his podcast, and it's called the Made from Scratch broadcast. And I think that was episode 83. And I have my friend here. We met from an accident from a friend of a friend. I think he was watching a podcast, and then I went on another podcast. He goes, Michelle, please connect with me. And it just kind of kept going. And I'd like you to meet this amazing man. He's a writer, a creator, an author, podcast host, amazing at connecting people with amazing people. I've met so many other humans across the globe through Gabriel. Please welcome Gabriel. I'm going to torture your name, Leal.
Leal, yes. Leal. Like real, but with the nail. Just say Leal. Leal.
And before we got on, I had to complain to Gabriel because I said, what in the world? Why do you have a picture of me behind you? And then I thought, you know what? It works because that's what Gabriel does. Gabriel is a lifter. He's a connector. He's oh, wow. You see good in people and then you bring us together. And that is the magic I've seen in you. So I haven't spoken to you in quite a while. I mean, I've said, hey, pirate to you often, but what are you up to? Tell the world, what do you do and what are you up to? Because I know you're up to stuff.
Okay, so I have been up to a lot of different things. Where do I start? Number one, I started my second season of my live stream show. So for those who don't know, I did a live stream show, which I started at almost the beginning of this year. I want to say about 2 months ago, completed my first season, which I actually did 135 episodes. So that's a lot.
Every day.
For those who don't know.
Yeah.
That was a lot. So at that point, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So what I decided was, you know what, I'm going to step away from a while. I went back and started doing a lot of creative writing, which I love to do. I've also started writing a secondary book, which is a project that I started conceptualizing while I was doing the live stream show. So I kind of outlined that, started writing that one as well. And, from that point on, I was kind of in limbo deciding if I wanted to get back into live streaming, if I wanted to go back into just creative writing. And then on top of that, I had the issue of wanting to reconnect with my kids and my wife. And because, again, this takes up a lot of time for those who don't know. So, taking that time off, I really did a lot of reflecting, and I decided, maybe I can have a little bit of everything. So what I decided to do was, I can change my schedule for little things here, a few things here. And, at that point I said, I have so many ideas to just sit idly by and wait. So this whole time I was writing things that I wanted to create, other things that I wanted to do. So finally, I decided, you know what, I'm just picking a day, and I started season 2. I revamped everything that I was doing. And, what's been so fun about it is the fact that even though I stepped away for a little while, I was kind of nervous doing it all over again, simply because, again, I felt awkwardness, because I was like, well, what if people, aren't watching anymore? And then I said, you know what? If they're there, they're there. If they're not, they're not. We're just going to go with it. So
yeah, it's not about the numbers. It's about the hearts. You're connecting hearts around the world. You've got to just do when you do and don't when you don't. Don't stress out about it. It is.
And one of the good things is I took in a lot of other people's messages, their content. I got to see a lot of other people sharing their message, which is what I love. This is what I essentially really did a lot with my show was to get people on, showcase these individuals, kind of help bring people out of their shells, get people to realize that, their experiences, their knowledge, their wisdom can actually help somebody else, right? So I started doing that, and man, it really reinvigorated me wanting to go out here and start doing this more. Then I started seeing your stuff again and what you were doing and what you had went through. I was like, okay,
Get up.
Get up, get moving, let's get going, right? Because again, I saw the surgery and I was going, you know what? I can fondly remember our conversation because I tell a lot of people that I've had on my show, and I mention you a lot, and I say, when I was done with that interview, I was fired up. I wanted to turn the table over. I wanted to start doing things right away because that was just kind of the energy and the vibe that you get with when you interview somebody really, really well. And again, we didn't have any kind of prior relationship. I actually saw you for the first time on Russ John's show. And I saw that passion and that fire, and I heard her stories. Wow, incredible! I have to talk to this person. So when I reached out, and I finally heard back from you. I was like, okay, cool, right? Here's the wonderful thing: once I started getting connected with people like yourselves, I started seeing this network of people that I started connect with other people like you. Obviously, oh wow, she knows Michelle now. They've connected. Awesome.
Yeah.
So now I've kind of seen people that a lot of people that I've had on my show cross-pollinating with each other on each other's content, on each other. And I love that. And I think that was, I think that's the beautiful part about it, is building the community.
It is. And what it is, it's the like attracts like. You're bringing in the same people, and you're connecting us. And I have to say something, Gabriel, that's just making me crack up. You look like you're wearing my hair on the top of your head.
That is funny.
I want to see up ever so slightly.
We'll do it like this. We'll go, hey, Dave. So I'm hanging with Michelle
to see my face.
But again, this is what I love about bringing other people on and having these sort of interviews with everybody, because again, it helps build community. It helps other people who might be watching and listening feel like, their stories aren't hopeless. Their struggles are the struggles of other people, and they kind of learn from we learn from each other. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things. And then on top of that, what makes it even more important when I'm done, I feel like this is my form of therapy, having conversation with so many interesting individuals who, after sometimes I could have the lowest of low days and have an interview with somebody. And when I'm done with the interview, it gives me a whole new, fresh perspective again on what I was doing, and I get up and I'm ready to do it again. So this is why I've again wanted to start doing this. And here's another thing I've been doing. I want to let a few people in on this. I've been finding other people who do really good content on live streaming. And what I do is I essentially simulcast their shows on all of my social media channels. So
yes, I haven't seen that. I wanted to ask you about that because I've seen you streaming other people's shows, and then I've seen you doing roundtables. And I swear, one of those roundtables I saw, 3 faces on there looked identical. Were they brothers? Were they all of you guys?
No, it was. Oh, yes.
Brothers?
Yes. Now that's a whole other thing, right? My brothers, after I started doing all of this stuff here and learning how to create video content and putting a whole podcast together, they were like, hey, can you show us how? So I said, yes, as a matter of fact, let's do it. So we kind of put our heads together, and they kind of formulated their own little show and what they talk about all the time. And I've been on there from time to time, and Yes, we all look alike because we're all related. So it looks.
That's the same. Like blind people, like God, those are all the same faces. Okay, I wasn't
So
insane.
so so we've done that, and then of course I have a my co-host. We do these roundtables on systemic racism as well. We did one this Monday, as a matter of fact. Did I? Me and my the co-creator Mike Padurano have done, and it's been an interesting journey as well as doing those and finding out. Okay, I'll be there in a second, buddy. That's my son. So, um,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is these roundtables were very important, and we wanted to start sharing that sort of content with on as many platforms as I could. So it was the whole George Floyd thing happened, and you can see. Say hi to Michelle. That's Michelle.
Hi.
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 Okay, now go back and finish your schoolwork, buddy. I'll be there.
I'm done. I'm on 30 minutes.
Okay, I told you, go back inside, please. Thank you.
Okay, well, with that happening, now you have to tell the other story. You have to share the story that you shared with me when I was on your broadcast about
Oh,
you were told
yes.
you're going to raise 4 daughters.
Oh, yes. So again, hold on just a second, son. Go inside, please. Thank you. Go. So the whole thing was.
Gee, I wonder if your broadcast is from your house.
Yeah, everybody. So the whole
Welcome to
COVID.
Gabriel's house.
Welcome to what I call the new normal, right? So many people who are doing their remote working from home, they're doing homeschooling, they're doing the whole. I actually have a setup for. Yeah, exactly right. I actually have a setup for 4 different computers for each one of my kids. So
Wow.
luckily, luckily for me, I got into figuring out how to do setting up live streams and setting up cameras and the whole. It was kind of like the intuition that this was going to happen. So being able to put all this stuff together and make it kind of hopefully simplify it for my wife, which is what we've been trying to find our groove dealing with that, because I know there's a lot of people who are still doing that as well, who have their husband working from home, they work from home, and then their kids are home. So it's kind of crazy. So now let's get into the story about the.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking you need to put the kids to work and teach them how to center the camera, hold the mic, the boom mic or something.
Well, I actually have my daughter. She's actually my oldest daughter. Excuse me. She's kind of technically directed a few of my shows, just so people know. So I've shown her the whole thing because she saw me start doing it and said, I want to learn how to do that, because she wants to do her own gaming channel. So that's a big thing. So I was like, well, if you come out here and practice with me, I'll show you as much as I can. And then when you're ready to put everything together, you know how to do it, go right for it. And I can help you along the way. But okay. Story of the 4 daughters.
Well, and I have to interject about this also. One of the things I was telling people when they're like, "Oh my goodness, our kids are home," I'm like, it's what it used to happen. It used to be. We used to work from home and teach your kids from what you did. And this is a really good opportunity to teach the kids what we do. And like with him, the importance of a microphone and that he's being broadcast around the world.
Exactly right. So, and the whole thing is, and there's another one. It's like
another baby.
So they're actually sprouting out of the ground, like, I don't know. So say hi. Now she doesn't like the camera. Okay, go inside, please. Thank you. I'll be there in a little bit, guys.
Okay, I remember when I was on the call with you, there was a dog. No dog?
Oh. Now, this is for everybody who's watching, let me just take my camera here and let me just show you so you can see. There is right there on the ground. There's the dog. So yes, he does not let me broadcast. He will not let me do anything unless he is around. So and that's he's doing something. So he's been broadcast a couple times in a few of these shows. So go inside, Plum. Don't pull that down because I need that. Okay, so here we go. Back at it. Uh-oh. What happened? Hold on. Okay. No, it's my camera. I'm trying to reposition it because it was off a little bit when I took it off the stand. So anyway, okay, 4 daughters. I had remembered where, before I go into that, I'm going to let people in on a few things. And I've said this on another podcast recently.
Yep. We're cross-pollinating.
Yes. So I had abandonment issues with women, right? And just opening up about this. My mother left us when I was very young. So I was pretty much raised by my father, and he actually raised 6 of us. So it was kind of reversed. So as I got older and got into relationships with women and when I first discovered girls and this whole thing about when you start falling in love, I had issues because I was always afraid of being left, right? And that was kind of the premonition a little bit behind why I wanted girls, because I figured girls would never leave, they wouldn't leave dad, and they would always want to come back. And so I had dreamed about this, and whenever I heard a voice in one of my dreams, it was very distinct, something I had never actually experienced before, and it was telling me, you're going to have 4 girls, right? Now, just to let everybody know, everybody else in my family, all my other brothers, my sister had boys. All of them had boys. It was what predominantly runs in the family. I was like, everybody's like, you're never going to have a girl. You're destined to have nothing but boys. I had told people about this thing that I had. I'd only told a few people. They said, no way. So whenever me and my wife found out we're going to have a kid, and we went to the doctor, and I didn't. They did the whole picture, and I didn't want to know. I was just like, I trust what was going to happen. So everybody said, you're going to have a boy. You're going to have a boy. We had a baby shower. We were planning for a girl. People had bought stuff for boy stuff, just in case. And I was like, no, I don't. We're going to have a girl. No. So here it is. Day comes, May 31st of 2007. There we are in a hospital where everybody's there at the hospital. My dad, my stepmother, my brothers, they're all there. Everybody's like, yeah, what's going to happen? I remember coming out of the room once I found out it was a girl, telling everybody, hey, I told my dad, you have a granddaughter. And they all were screaming. My wife could even hear it back in the room because there were so many people there, right? And I was like, awesome, right? So I had another girl after that, 2.5 years later. Again, there it was. So at this point, I'm going, okay, that voice, and I heard that was the higher being telling me what I was going to have, right? So then we had a third. It was a miscarriage for my wife, but it was we found out that it was going to be a girl. But so we had another. After a year after that, we had another child, and it was my son, right? So I was like, oh, okay, well, that can't be possible now. Maybe I was going crazy, right? No. So take them inside. Yeah, come on. There you go. Come on. There you go. So then a year later, we found out we're going to have another one, and it happened to be a girl. So at that point, I'm like, well, I have 3 girls. I was like, I thought, that I was supposed to have 4 girls. I was going to raise 4 girls in this world, and I couldn't think about it. And then one day, I want to say about 3 years ago, we're sitting there at a birthday party for my niece who actually moved in with me and my wife whenever she was just 2 years old. She never knew who her father was. Mm-hmm. And pretty much since that age, she's lived with us until she was 19 years old. And, she calls me daddy, and I never put 2 and 2 together. I didn't think about it. That, that I had done exactly what he said. I was going to raise 4 girls. So I have 4 girls. I call her, even though she's my niece through marriage, I call her more like my daughter because that's what she calls me. She calls me daddy, and I have 3 girls with my wife and a son. So at that point, I said, you know what? He was right. Who am I to question the higher authority? Who am I to question the man upstairs about what I'm going to do? If he tells me something now, that's my lesson to say, you know what? Listen to that voice. That's that thing he plants in you, that intuition, that stuff, that thing you feel in your stomach. You go, what is that? Right? That's something you how many times have you heard that where people say, you know what, I should have just went with my gut? How many times have you heard that? Because there's a reason for that. That's something that I believe that comes beyond of what we think. And I think that's where I tell people, just go with that first inclination that you feel. So even if it's
small voice that talks to you, listen.
Right. I mean, it's amazing what happens when we actually do, and we start to follow through with these things and start going, you know what? My life can actually be pretty incredible if I just listen to what I know is my own judgment. When I start letting outside factors, when I start letting fear, when I start letting negative things get into your head, that's when you start questioning, oh man, should I be doing this? Am I doing this right? You know what? I'm at that point in my life where I'm just going to do it anyway. Failure or not, to me, that's not failure. To me, it's an experience. It's something that I learned from. So yeah, I haven't done everything right. This journey hasn't been.
Who has?
Exactly right. That's what I tell everybody. I've had conversation with people off camera, and how they go, I don't know. I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if this would be possible. And I said, you know what? Guess what? That just means you're human. You're just like everybody else who figures it out. I says it's the ones who are brave and courageous enough to listen to their own opinions and their own thoughts and go do something about what they actually feel and that passion. It's amazing to feel that. It's even more incredible to act on it. So that's why I say I've had so many things that I've done wrong in life, but again, I'm at the point where, you know what, that's just part of building me up where I'm supposed to be headed. So,
and I have to fix that with you, because there is no wrong and there's no right. Okay, there is what you did. Okay, and once it's past tense, it's a lesson at that point. So we make choices in our life, and it's up to us to either grow from them or fall from them. And as children, as humans, we are meant to fall. And I like to say this because, we come out, we crawl, we're on 4 legs, more stable than anything else, right? 4 legs or more are most animals, right?
Yeah.
And then we stand up. We're one of the rare, mammals that stand up. which makes us far less stable. Why do we stand up? Because we're meant to fall and get back up. So when someone says that, I messed up or I did whatever I do, that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to fall, learn, and get back up. And that's how we are an example to ourselves and to everyone else around us. It's not what happens to us, it's how our attitude towards what happens to us. So yeah, I'm all on that gravy train of fall, learn. There is no mistakes. There's only a lesson.
Well, you know what? And that's a whole other thing, right? Is to be able to say, you know what, I can still learn those things from other people. This is why I said, right?
That's why you do your podcast.
That's why you do this. That's why you talk. There's so many things that I've learned that have helped me enlighten myself that I didn't know a year and a half ago. Just simply because I hear having these conversations, number one, and then having people go, you know what? Here's a resource, or here's something that you might want to read, or you know what? These are a few tips that I help clients or something with that you might want to instill into your daily practices and what you do in life. And so I from learning each one of these little lessons from every single conversation that I have, that's what I tell everybody. I am open to knowledge and wisdom. If you want to share, what what you have in your life that you think can help mine, I would be a fool to go, yeah,
I don't want to learn from you.
Yeah, I don't want to learn from you. Your life's not perfect, right? What do you know? That's where I'm like, nah. I tell everybody, if you want to show me something, please do. To me, that's where I get a lot of joy out of it, because again, it adds more to who I am as a person, and it helps. To me, it helps strengthen my character as an individual, learning from other people, because again, that's essentially how we've learned since the age of 2 or 3, when we were actually cognizant of learning how to talk and speak and tie our shoes. I mean, we've always learned from somebody else. We've learned from our mothers, our fathers, our teachers. We've learned from friends. So I said, to me, that's where I said, you know what? It's the constant part of being a learner for the rest of your life, is learning from other folks. I even learning how to live stream. I learned how to do all this either watching YouTube or having somebody else share their wealth of knowledge with me and telling me, hey, I'll show you, I can help you how to do this or figure all this out. What I added was my own stamp and creativity to it, which is what everybody else has. Everybody has their own stamp, their own personality that they can bring to whatever they create, whether it's a business plan, whether they're doing coaching, whether they're doing writing a book, whether they're doing any of these things that can help other people. You're putting your own creative stamp on it. So that's why I've told other people it's okay for you to not know what you want to do in life, right? It's okay because again, we don't all have it figured out, but you know what you can do is be open to when that opportunity, whatever it is, shows up in front of you, right? I mean, it's one thing to say, I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what my purpose is. But if you're not,
the most brilliant people, the most brilliant minds, the most amazing people we've ever had in our lifetimes didn't know what they were doing in their 20s. Most of them were, was that Kentucky Fried Chicken? I think he was like 68 or 70. Oprah, I think, was in almost 50. I mean, was that Einstein? They thought he was an idiot until he was 60 something. I mean, just because you don't know what you're doing or where you want to go, as long as you're moving forward, it's okay. I mean, yes. I'm turning 52 next month. I'm just now coming into who I am and owning who I am. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're under the age of 50, welcome to the boat. I mean, welcome to the boat. We don't know. And we just, the magic about life is living it. Living and failing and growing and moving and falling. And I mean, it's this circle. And for those of you who remember math from high school, it's a sine wave. Things go up, things go down. Thing is it just keeps going. So you ride the ups and ride the downs. And one day, When you follow your heart, you'll find what you really want to do. What Gabriel found in his world is he likes people. He loves stories, and he likes to connect power stories. And when I spoke to him back on episode 83 of the Made from Scratch podcast, is he was telling me every time he's on any podcast or has a guest, he writes down little notes of what he's learned from each of his guests. And he's compiling this book because he's a writer. He likes to journal. And I'm like, beautiful. Guess what else you are besides a compiler of knowledge? You're a writer, because that's what you do. And as we grow and as we formulate who we are and what we bring to the world, all these different things are going to come together. You like to talk. You like to connect. You also like to write. It's all coming together as you are a writer, a creator, an author, a podcast host, and then a massive connector. One day you're going to have multiple books. And what I encourage you, Gabriel, is to get one of them out. I want you to get one of them out. I don't want you to wait until your next season or whatever. I want you to get one of them out. And I want it to be, yes, I'm giving you homework, Gabriel. I want to get to 150 pages and put the lessons you learned from all the, put the quotes, quote them, and then write what you learned and connect it to the next person, because you've connected every lesson to the next person you've met. You've connected us all. So write it that way and get it out, because here's my other little saying. Tomorrow is never promised. Saying that you're going to do something and never doing it is the worst thing we can ever do for the world. When that idea comes into your head of write the book, God Almighty, universe, whatever you want to call it, doesn't put that idea in your head for you to wait on it for the next 10 years. They put it in your head because that's when you're supposed to start it. You're supposed to do it. That idea came into your head a year ago.
Yes. And you know what? You're absolutely 100% right. I mean, could you imagine if Noah had said, you know what? I got to wait till I find the right kind of wood.
Yeah. I have to gather all the animals first. I don't know where all of them are yet. Really? Start building it.
Start building it, right? So that's essentially what I've been, I have been doing that. And what I've been doing really when I've been creatively writing is, along with that, is putting together a little bit of the research, which has been taking a little while, going back and pulling a lot of, 100 people's files. Has been kind of taxing a little bit. But other than that, like I said, I've really just been transferring most of my notes from my book, or that I've written down in my journal, and I'm actually putting it into my book writing software that I actually have. So I have been working on it. Now I really have wanted to push myself to complete that and get that out there into the world.
Okay, the coach in me is like itching. Stop making excuses. Write it. You don't need to research all the people. Just put their website, their name, and what they said, and then you write what you learned from it. It can be a small book. I know plenty of publishers that can help you. I know some amazing people, but get that book out because you're supposed to. Okay, yes. You're supposed to do it, and you don't want to wait to research the people. No, if you really want to do it, you already have them on your show. Put the quote, put their website, put a link to your YouTube channel or whatever, wherever it is, and write what you learned. It could be a quote with their contact, what you learned, quote, contact, what you learned, and it could be that fast. It would be what do you call it? A made from scratch lesson on life. And it can be that simple. And then the next time you make another one, volume 2, next one, volume 3. I mean, it can just be that. You are learning life lessons through all of us that you interview in segments. Make your book a segment, because the people who are going to read your book are like you and like me. We don't read gigantic books for learning. We go on and we watch, we learn, we pull what we need, and we walk away. Your book needs to be the same way, that same mental attitude. Look, grab, get what I need, pull.
Oh, I like that.
You're welcome.
That is That's actually the best piece of advice that I heard. I never
Yeah,
thought of it that way. I never thought of it. That's why, again, these conversations, when I tell people, that's what's important. That's why you got to have them. I would have never thought of that. Even
yeah.
the concept of the book wasn't my idea, to tell you the truth. It was episode 38. I still remember it was Harpreet Kapoor. She was the one that told me, you need to write a book out of this. Again, not my idea, but it was the idea from somebody else. Said, you know what, this person right here is going to tell you exactly what I need you to do. You are 100% right. And now you're right. I need to put it in segments. I never thought about it like that.
If you need to know more, you get on a call with me and I'll walk you through, because we need to get that book out of you. You've been talking about it for over 3 months to me.
Yes,
Okay?
I have.
We need to get it moving because you're not supposed to wait this long.
No, you're right.
And my thing is, what I've learned through all of my experiences, through everything that's happened to me, is when that nudge comes into me, I'm not meant to wait. It's supposed to happen very quickly. You need to be moving. And so we were meant to get on this call today so I could remind you that you're dragging your feet.
Yeah. You know what? I need that though. I tell you the truth. Sometimes you need somebody to hold you accountable a little bit.
Coaches need coaches. And then the next thing I wanted to make sure we talk about is, remember, I'm inviting you over to my speaker boot camp. You need to get to my speaker academy. So one of these days you need to get here, because we need to get you your story succinct so you can tell that story before you do your book, or while you talk about your book, or when you're promoting your book, because that story that I'll help you craft will be the beginning of your book. Why you made this, why you started the Made from Scratch broadcast. And this is your brand. This is who you are. And you can make an entire platform on the Made from Scratch broadcast, because even the Made from Scratch broadcast you can put in the book. At this time period, I decided maybe this was too much and I backed off for a bit. I backed off because I need to reevaluate, and that's okay. When have you backed off to reevaluate, to make sure you're on the right track? And you could be a lesson inside of your lessons. You have grown from being a spectator to being one of the participants of inspiring other people. You haven't seen it yet because you're too busy pulling other people in, but you don't realize that you are what you say you're bringing on. You are an inspirer. And so you have transitioned from the beginning of your podcast to a watcher, to a bringer together, and you've shifted into the inspiration side, and you never even knew you did it. It just happened. And I think it's an important story to have, to share, because so many people do, well, they can do that, I can't do that. They can do that, I can't do that. You said, I like positive, inspiring people around me. You made it happen, and then you became what you liked. Like attracts like. You are who you hang around with. That's why it's so important when we say birds of a feather flock together. Your 10 people that are around you are who you are. Gabriel, look around you. Look who you have surrounded yourself with people who are full of positivity and just amazing light. You've created a tribe of amazing love. And you are one of what you thought you were just gathering for other people. You are.
Wow. That is, whew.
You want to jump up and go do something again?
I want to, yeah. I need to find a way to keep that 24 hours.
Hi, my name is Michelle Ross. You can follow me on everything, and you know how to find me. I mean, the other thing, Gabriel, get on one of my Zoom calls. I have a Zoom call twice a month, starting in November. I stopped them in October because I'm taking vacation for my birthday month. But get on my calls. Stay with me.
Wait a minute. Say that again. You're taking...
I'm taking vacation for the entire month of October.
For?
Me, my birthday.
When is your birthday?
October 17th.
Ooh, October 9th.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. You can tell we have the same kind of smile.
There's I can't, over my head. That was incredible. Okay.
Well, that's what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be in the point in my life. I don't gear success on money. I gear success on freedom. And so with me, my idea of success was I would be able to leave whenever I wanted to take a month off because I felt like it. I've reached that point where I can just say,
bye guys.
Yeah, see you in a month.
You know what? I'm ready. I'm fired up. I got a lot of irons in the coal. I'm ready. I'm ready to do some stuff. This is why I was waiting for this. So even tonight, I'm remotely producing a show for somebody else on my channels, and then I'm actually going to be on another podcast with actually my brothers later this evening. So
we got called out on our birthdays.
Yeah, right. And then here's the awesome part about this is that my son actually his birthday is like 5 days before mine, so his is October 5th. So that was for me whenever he was born, my birthday surprise. So now we're like, guess what? I know he's gonna have a lot of the same makeup that I do. So yeah, I'm ready to.
What was that?
Wow. So that was my dog trapping his tail over by my switching where I keep all my lighting and everything is, and he just took down half of my equipment on the other side. So well, people, this is live stream. This is why
real life.
This is real life. This is, again, I don't hide things. I don't try to hide things from other people.
Yeah,
So
you didn't hear my dog galumpering in here. My dog came in, hit the door, it hit the wall, and he came up and jumped on. You didn't see any of it. All I did was I looked down.
Yeah. So again, this is what we do, guys, and this is why I love live streaming. This is why I love talking with Michelle. I need to make this a habit. This is more fun than I remembered last time. It was.
Telling you, you need to get on my Zoom calls. You need to get. I'll send you the link when this is over. But yeah,
yes, please do, because
my gift is seeing the light in other people. My gift is pulling out what you think. Half the time, it's what you don't even realize. I see that, and I pull it out of you. And every time I see you, you talk and you're doing this, and it's almost like you're putting up a wall. And it's like, well, you just move a little bit. There you are. Come on out. Come out and play. Stop hiding. Because Gabriel, you are what you're seeking and what you were surrounding yourself with all these different podcasts. For those of you who are listening, his name is, I say his name is Leal. His name is Gabriel Leal, and he has the Made from Scratch broadcast. You can find him. He's live streaming on everything. If you connect with him on LinkedIn, you will find him all the time. He is always popping up somewhere, and he's on Facebook and YouTube, and he's just everywhere. And I highly suggest follow him because he's got so many amazing people. And for those of you who have podcasts, you might want to pay attention because he gets some great guests, and I've like mooched guests off of him and then gone on to their podcast because you find the coolest people. Same with the pirate broadcast with Russ Johns.
Yes.
I mean, he has such an amazing tribe. And so that's how I met with you. And another tidbit about Gabriel that people don't realize is if you go to his Facebook profile, the only reason I friended him was because he had this goofy smile, and it was a video. Let's see if I can find it. But be unique, because Gabriel did not have any friends in common with me. So normally I would not have liked that. Let's see if you can see it.
Yeah.
See how he's waving? I had no friends in common, so I would not have friended him. But because he was so friendly and he was waving, and then I friended him for the heck of it. And then the next time I was on a live broadcast, he went, Michelle, it's Gabriel, connect with me. I'm like, I thought I did. But that's the magic of connection and being a real, authentic human. When you want to meet someone who is real, who says, I want positivity in my world, who walks the talk, it's Gabriel. He truly does, and he surrounds himself with people. If you need more positivity, you think I'm positive, this man brings a lot of positivity around him in his world. So find him.
I think that's the way that even during this whole pandemic thing, that's the way that you have to combat it. Is just be as positive as possibly you can. And yes, I'm going to tell you what, this is a hard fact of life, but it's truth. You have to work harder to be positive than to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's worth it to put in the work. It's worth it to do that, to get up every morning to do, you know what, I'm going to do meditation today, even though I don't want to. I'm going to do affirmations, even if I don't want to. If I don't want to write down gratitude in my thing, even if I don't want to, do it anyway. Write it down. It's such an amazing thing. And I'm telling you, I'm a big journaler. I've told people this a long time. I do this constantly all the time. There's nothing better than to open up a page that you've written that are your words, to read it and go, wow, that's me. You're essentially writing a letter to yourself in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and you go pull it and you go, man, you write these things, you go back and look at it, you go, that's your handwriting, that's you. Who are you going to trust more than yourself? So go back and do that and read it. And man, it is one of the best things that you could possibly do, because one day you're going to open up a page, you might be down in the dumps. It could be whatever it is, whatever that point is that you need to hear, whatever it is. And what is it better than to hear it from yourself? You read it and you go, okay, I'm cool. Life's good.
The funniest thing to ever happen is to be listening like to my podcast stream, and a podcast comes on and I'm listening to, hey, that's really wise. That's really cool. Wait a minute. I know that voice. Oh my gosh, it's me.
Isn't it? Again, this is why I tell everybody, the question that I've always asked every single guest that I've had on is, what kind of legacy you want to leave behind? And I think that for me, I know everything that you're seeing, this interview, everything that I've created on YouTube, that's my legacy. That's a big part of it. There's going to be a day where I won't be on this earth consciously walking around, but what I've said, what I've created will be there, and it'll impact somebody's life. It could be one of my own children. See that, you know what? I understand now. My dad.
Well, not gonna, kind of might be. It will be. You're an example to everyone around you. Your children are seeing you. They see you smiling when they're running through that room, making noise. You do, do, and laughing, okay? There will be some people who would lose their minds, and when the dog knocked over all the lights, would have lost their mind and said, you know what? I'm done. I got to go. And what did you do? We laughed. Okay?
That's all you can do. It's
magic.
That's why I tell everybody, you know what? It's not going to be the end of the world. Something falls, a light falls, a post falls. This is the one thing that I can say that I can take away. I've learned from live streaming. This has been one of the best lessons. Take it is for what it is, face value, whatever happens, just go with it. You don't have to go back and edit it. You don't have to go back and do it, because again, this is what real life is. And to me, these are the best conversations that I enjoy having, because again, I get to, like you said, I get to hear the real authentic person. I don't have to go back and not that there's nothing wrong with the other way. I just enjoy it better this way for me. I enjoy it better this way.
Well, you have to think, we all learn in different ways. There's, the kinetic learners who have to do it. Then there's the visual who want to see. And then there's the auditory that want to hear it. I happen to be very kinetic. I must move. I must touch things in order to learn it. I learned podcasting because I had to do it and fail, so however you learn. I mean, if you need to hear people and see their faces, then that's the way to do it. I need kinetic. I need to see you moving for me to understand what you're saying. If it was only audio, it's very difficult for me to learn. So I surround myself with moving parts where I can see. It's how we are.
Exactly. This is why I love doing the video part more than anything. This is why I love it more than anything, because again, there's no hiding the emotion. There's no hiding. You see what's on the camera. That's what you get.
Yeah, wait. I want to pose like my picture. Wait a second.
There you go. Look at that, guys. This is why I have so much fun doing these, and again, by the time I'm done, every time that I'm done afterwards, I feel tremendous. I feel great again. Like I said, there's days where everything's gone wrong. I locked my keys in the car. I forgot this here. I didn't get this. Guess what? I get down here. I start having these conversations. I'm done. Doesn't matter. It's like an etch a sketch. It's clear. I get to start all over again. Let's go on to the next one.
Yes, I mean, I love to create my own world, basically. When bad things start happening, I realize, okay, where's my mindset? Where am I lost? Because I probably didn't do something in my routine in the morning that set my day off. And, pick it up, fix it. Let's keep going. It was meant to happen. I had an appointment today that forgot to come to the appointment. She had the calendar 30 minutes off. And it's like, it's okay. Don't freak out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't freak out. We were not meant to talk today. It's okay. We'll just move it to another day. And well, Gabriel, I just want to ask you, what is your final thoughts? What would you like to share with my audience today? What is the Gabriel Leal advice?
My advice would be, you know what? Always be open to listening what somebody else has to tell you, and always know that even though you might not agree with what somebody says, be open to understanding. That's one of the best lessons I've learned by doing these roundtables that we do on racism, is hearing other people's opinions, listening to what the other half has to say, even though it might get me to the point where I say, you know what, I'm totally disagree. This is totally wrong. I don't think this is really good. But then I listen and I go, you know what? Something in there somewhere I can learn from what he's telling me, even if it's hate. I can learn from hate.
Yes, you can.
I can learn from hate. That's one of the biggest things that I've been able to take about it is just listen. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what it is. Take that in. Be open to saying, you know what? Everything that I know and understand can always change. And I think that's why I said I love, that's why I love connecting with people. This is why I love connecting folks and creating and connecting more and more, because again, it gives me the opportunity to keep that thirst that I have for knowledge and wanting to learn more and more from one person to the next. And hopefully for me, it's to be able to make myself a better person than I was 24 hours earlier. So the 86,400 seconds that I get every day, I want to spend it learning something new and being better than who I was the day before. So to me, that's where I say, you know what, if you do that every day, life's going to be grand, even on your worst days. So
fantastic. Well, everyone who joined us, thank you so much for joining us live. I know there were more people on here that I couldn't see, but I can definitely see. Thank you, Gerline and Shell and Brian, for popping on, and all the rest of you who are watching the live stream or watching the replay. Thank you so much. Please share, and then go find Gabriel. Go find the Made from Scratch broadcast.
Yes.
Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and then follow him on LinkedIn, because he has the most amazing guests and the most amazing roundtables going on. And you never know, reach out to him and say, hey, I want to be part of that roundtable. I want to talk.
I take all comers. You have an opinion, whatever. Your voice is just as important as, I don't know, Gary V. Yeah, Gary V's on there. I don't care. I can have you. You could be a janitor. I don't care. Your opinion is what matters, and that's what we really concentrate on. So yes, reach out, please.
Yes, do so. Okay, well, have a wonderful rest of your week. And Gabriel, I was so honored to have you on. I'm so glad we were able to get back together. And I'm still really weirded out that my face is behind your head. But I look forward to talking to you again. I sent you a link to my monthly courses, and you need to jump on, because I think you need a push, and I'm your push. I think we click well.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I always appreciate you. Love you. You're the best.
I love you too. Have a great rest of your week, and I will connect with you later, okay?
No problem. Thank you, everybody. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, and we'll get to this together, guys.
Yes, and go find the round tables. You need to be
Yes.
listening or joining with him, okay? Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. That was awesome.